we'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials, grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Allen. Here. LaFour.
Here.
Mistrovich. Ricks.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Yelenich.
Here.
Motion to excuse Counselor Mistrovich for being out of town would be in order.
I'll make motion. Support.
Motion been made and support. Any discussion? This was with notice. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Approval of minutes from the regular meeting of April 7th. Motion be in order.
Motion. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. Hometown Heroes introduction. You guys got the floor.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, city manager. My name is David Schumann. I'm the president of the newly formed Richmond Hometown Heroes, formerly known as the RPOA. We're a nonprofit organization created by members of Richmond's finest, the police department, fire department, and Richmond Lennox EMS. Our mission in partnership is to help the members of our community recover after devastating events and to give during the holiday season. I'd like to introduce our board members if I can. Myself, President David Schumann from the PD, Vice President Delaney France from the PD, Secretary Drew Rindell from the fire department, he couldn't be here. Treasurers Joe Binky from the PD, our Sergeant at Arms is Steve Aiken from the fire department, our first chair is Alex Williams from the fire department, and our second chair is Courtney Olson from Richmond Lennox EMS. Thank you for letting us have a few minutes of your time tonight. I wanted to kind of turn it over to Delaney, and she can kind of give you a rundown of some of our events that we have planned already this year.
Very good.
Turn that microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Good evening. Like Dave was saying with the RPOA, what we saw a lot was volunteers from fire and EMS more than our own police department. We had the help of MSP as well. So opening this up to all three first responders in our city was a big deal for us, and we have a lot of support behind us. In the next few months, we have a couple events planned. Right now, we have a shoe drive that we have just launched, and the flyers can be found up by dispatch. We are also posting it on our Facebook page. We also have the third grade pizza luncheon happening at the school, and we have MSP, Richmond Fire Department, Richmond Lennox EMS, and our police department attending. We all agreed our main goal for the end of the year is we want to do a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway for families in need, same as Shop with a Hero. Our goal is to sponsor 20 kids this year, and we know it's going to be a rough start since we are just starting, but we look forward to everyone's support. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Good luck.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
You do.
Moving on, adoption of agenda. Mr. City Manager, any changes?
No changes.
City Council, any changes? Being none, a motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
Motion.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. According to our rules, there's no discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to items for consideration. We have four this evening. The first one being consideration of veteran banners. Mr. City Manager?
City Council is scheduled to consider a request from Jim Wilton of the Veteran Banner Project to hang banners with the names and photos of the veterans listed on our Veterans Memorial on the banner arms of the light poles along Main Street from Monroe to Water for the 2 weeks leading up to Memorial Day and the 2 weeks after. This is the same banner request that came before you last year. It's all the same banners, with the exception of one. He was able to find a new photo of one of the existing veterans. The original banner had, the photo was of the veteran in civilian clothes, and he was able to find a photo of him in his uniform, so he swapped that banner out, but other than that, it's the same as last year.
Good, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the use of the light pole banner arms for water to Monroe Streets to hang veteran banners near the Veterans Park to the 2 weeks prior to Memorial Day and the 2 weeks following, May 13th and June 10th.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this? Let's thank Jim for all the work that he does on this. Appreciate it, and hope that he continues to find some of those pictures. I know it was very difficult when we initially did the study on that, and I'm surprised that he found that. That's good for him, because it's been very tough to get those pictures. So, any other discussion?
There's a lot of good comments every year on
Yeah, absolutely.
the banners and the poles and the flowers around them, everything.
Yeah. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 2 is consideration of a special event request, Richmond Little League, MFV.
The City Council is scheduled to consider approving a special event request for a mobile food vendor from Richmond Little League to have one mobile food vendor, Kona Ice, for their Blue Devil Invitational Baseball Tournament on Saturday, June 7th and Sunday, June 8th. Council had approved the usage of food trucks at the Blue Devil Tournament last year, or for the last couple of years. This year, they are only having the Kona Ice truck, but other than that, it's the same as previous years.
Very good, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a special event request from Richmond Little League to have one mobile food vendor, Kona Ice, for their Blue Devils State Tournament from Saturday, June 7th through Sunday, June 8th.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this item? They do have a ton of people over there, and I understand the need for this. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3, consideration and approval of architect proposal for the Lois Wagner Memorial Library. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider approving a proposal from Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, commonly known as AEW, to complete a feasibility study for the Lois Wagner Memorial Library. The Library Design Committee interviewed 3 of the 6 architectural firms that submitted proposals for the Architectural Design Services RFP that we put out. The purpose of the RFP was to find an architectural firm that could examine the existing library, give recommendations on the best way to add on to the building if possible, and provide cost estimates for the addition. This would provide the committee, the library board, and the city council with a more accurate picture of what is feasible. In 2022, the Lois Wagner Memorial Library received a memorial from the Eugene Manchella, who was a longtime patron, and with that memorial, an addition may be feasible. And so previously, the city council had formed a committee that was made up of administration, city council, and the public library board to develop the RFP and interview the candidates, and they'll be working, that committee will be working with the architectural firm as they go through this process. The firm will also be working with staff and reviewing other documents that we've prepared leading up to this point. So the committee selected AEW based on their experience, the range of professionals that they employ, such as in-house engineers and designers, as well as sub-consultants in IT, mechanical, and electrical engineering and estimating. And so the committee, as I mentioned, interviewed 3 of the 6 firms and is recommending that council approve the AEW contract.
Thank you. Julianne, would you like to add anything to that?
Really, just those of us that were on the committee felt very comfortable with them. They've worked in the area before, had very good recommendations from those who have worked with them, including the director of the Shelby Township Library, who I was able to speak with. So we're just looking forward to see what they think is possible for us.
Very good. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the architectural service proposal from AEW in the amount of $45,000 to complete the feasibility study for the Lois Wagner Memorial Library. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on this? Well, it was agonizing, I think, for some people. It was very hard to look especially at 3 of the 6. I would put them, I think we all agreed they were all very, very good companies. I think the one difference that I personally saw in this, and I think others saw it too, was the fact that these people, this company can take us all the way to the end, in-house people. They don't have to subcontract other individuals to get us to where we want to go. And I believe this company can also, they were the ones who built the EMS and also the Henry Ford clinic down in south end of town there. And they oversaw that build also. So that this company could take us all the way to the very end with their own people. So that to me said a lot. There was no disconnect there. It was there with us from the beginning and hopefully to the end. But that will come back to council for further review when we get to that point where we have to go out for the build. If there's a build, we will find out. That's our next thing, whether or not we have enough finances to put an addition on and renovate what we already have, because was it the first part's what, 1978? 1974. So that would be the bathrooms, wouldn't it? Yeah, so they're not compliant right now, and that's one of the things that the library board really wanted to see happen, was to get those bathrooms up to date and compliant. And there's other issues there for a building that's that old. And so we have to find out. That will be the next step once we get with these people. They said about 10 to 12 weeks to get us to the plans and give us an idea what it's going to cost. So the committee will be working with them. I'm assuming, John, the committee will be working with them to kind of massage that into the amount of money that we have to determine what it is that we can do.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sure along the way, like I said, there'll be portions of the time period that they'll be working more with staff, and then portions of the time period where they've started to develop and are getting to a point where they need feedback from us. And so that committee will be kind of that steering committee to work with the consultant to make sure they're headed in the right direction that we want them to go in.
Very good, very good. Any other discussion? We'd like to thank the committee too for getting us to this point. It was not easy to change, between especially the last 2 firms that we had come down to. It was very hard to determine which way to go there, but I think they made the right decision and proved that your library board also approved the recommendation from the committee. So it's a big thing. It's going to be a great thing. That we're going to see our library expand, and it's one of the great things we have in this community that we can be proud of, and this will make it even better and bring us up to, this decade at least. We should be good for a few years. So any other discussion on this? If not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. And our final item is consideration of approving award contract for the ADA ramps. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider awarding the Oak and Howard Street ADA ramp upgrade project for construction to begin this spring. The project is being funded through CDBG funds approved by Macomb County. This particular project in its form that's before you tonight is a revised scope of work. You may recall the Oak Street portion of the project was originally approved by Macomb County during their CDBG funding last year, bid out over the winter and awarded by council. The project was awarded by council in the February of 2025 for Oak Street. The bids came in much lower than what we had projected, and so the county looked at the project that we had submitted for construction next year, which was Oak Street, Howard, and asked Jim to take that project. They kind of preemptively funded it and move that forward and rebid the project. And so to get some economies of scale on having a contractor come out, sometimes when you have a small project, costs kind of increase based on such a small project. So Jim did do that, spent a lot of time to go back through, re-advertise everything, get new bids, and we've done that. And so now what's before you tonight is kind of a this year project and a next year project all rolled into one, which would be Oak and Howard. And Jim's here to answer any technical questions.
Jim, anything to add to this?
Only that, so the county was forward thinking. They were trying to save some time and money by doing, they have to do environmental assessments for every project that we were to submit. So they had asked us, what projects do you anticipate doing the next couple of years? And Howard Street was one of them. So because they'd already done that early work, they allowed us to add that, roll that in, as the city manager said, due to funding. So
Very good. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to award the Oak and Howard Street ADA ramp upgrade project to Santos Cement in the amount of $54,087.50, with the expenses charged to appropriate line items within the HUD fund.
Support. Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Questions? Okay, so who got the bid that we awarded in February of '25? It's not this same company, is it?
no, unfortunately for them, they were the third low bidder when we rebid the project.
Okay, okay. I couldn't remember the name of the company from February. So they were the third, okay. And we've dealt with this company before, I believe?
So Santos Cement has, at least in my experience, has not been a prime contractor, but they have worked as a subcontractor in the city.
Okay, okay. No problems?
No issues.
Okay, great. Any other questions, comments? No? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Miscellaneous matters from the city manager, sir.
As many people who have been down on Gratiot may have noticed, MDOT will begin resurfacing Gratiot between New Haven and Richmond, or more appropriately 31 Mile Road in Richmond. They'll be doing that under flag control. That project does begin Monday, April 28th. So on our city website, we do have a link to all the information from MDOT. And so people can go there. It went out today by email and text for those that have signed up through the Notify Me.
Did you see the detour yet, or either one of you see the detour? It looks like the signs are pointing to Muttonville Lane to Gratiot.
At a certain point, they will be not allowing left turns from Gratiot onto 31 in either direction. So there'll be a detour for that. So
Okay.
if you're coming up northbound on Gratiot and you're just heading up Main Street, you'll stay the normal course.
Okay.
It would be if you were going from northbound Gratiot to turn and head west on 31, you would need to kind of circle around Muttonville Lane back down to County
That
Line.
west or east
30.
to go east off of Gratiot.
If you're heading northbound,
Yeah.
if you're heading towards Port Huron.
Yeah.
And you want to turn left and head
Oh,
towards.
turns, yeah.
Yeah, they're not allowing left turns from Gratiot, either heading north or south on Gratiot.
Yeah, okay.
And so at a certain point, they will have a detour for those turn movements.
Okay. So the intersection of 31 is being somewhat redone also?
Yeah, there's some
drainage issues?
Drainage issues and curb lines and different things
Good.
that they need to do there. There's like the chiropractor there on the right-hand side. If you're heading towards Port Huron, those driveways will be reconfigured down to one, but the curb line will be redone there.
Good.
And some other things I think Jim might be able to
Yeah,
better
well,
answer
you
that.
Pretty much said it. There's ponding issues. There are ponding issues currently there.
Yeah.
This is intended to fix that. They're installing some storm sewer for
Good.
that. And then obviously the curb grades need to adjust, and with the reconfiguration of the driveway entrances, all that will be reconstructed. So to allow them room to work, that's what's causing this detour, because they're gonna shift traffic kind of around them, so.
Okay. Last year, we had a heck of a rain, and it was the opposite side from Varga Chiropractic, the west, I call it the west side of Gratiot. That was completely flooded. and it was flooded for quite a while. Do you know if they're addressing storm drain on that side of the road?
Well, under this project, no, they are not. And I don't recall when, but the county, Macomb County did ditch further south on Gratiot on that side of the road. And I don't recall if that was before or after that rain. But there is storm sewer, and it heads south and becomes an open ditch south
okay.
of town. And so they have been working to improve that because the culverts are all different elevations, and we did have some issues in the past. So that may have been resolved since then, but I don't
Okay.
recall the timeline.
Okay, it makes sense, but yeah, they did. They ditched that all the way down. Okay, I hope that takes care of it, because that was quite a flood down there, pretty bad. Okay. Council comments? Janice?
Nothing tonight.
Nick?
Nope.
John?
Nothing tonight.
Emily?
Nothing, thank you.
Jimmy?
Too bad that they couldn't finish 19, finish one project before they start another one. It just
Yeah.
kind of grinds me. It's 2 years now. We've been screwing around with this, and I haven't heard any more of when they're going to finish going up to Memphis.
Well, so we it's not 100%, but we believe they have funding to actually do that this year. They may be milling and resurfacing M19 from 32 north, or technically from Memphis south to 32. If they have the funds, they will go all the way to 32.
Don't hold your breath, but
Oh, no.
is that something, did I hear something about that is if there's funds towards the end of the state's fiscal year?
Yeah, well, I think what Jim's referring to is they have it in the works to do like Memphis and start heading south.
Okay.
They were hoping to be able to extend those funds to get all the way to 32, but that's the kind of the question
That's
mark.
where the question
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
I knew I heard something similar.
Because if you get north of town, like in town's not great, but you go, the further north you go, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
And so they're definitely doing north, but they're hoping that the funds will extend down.
Good.
One of the other projects we should start mentioning and get it out there is that Macomb County has received funding through MDOT to replace the railroad tracks here at 32 Mile. That project is currently tentatively set for July 14th through the 18th. And that is a county project. That crossing is within the county's road jurisdiction, but we do anticipate that will be done this year as one of two crossings that were, I think they submitted several to MDOT for consideration, and that was one of two in Macomb County that did get funding. So unfortunately, with the state of that crossing, you may recall, like last week, I think there was a shutdown on Division Road because of some ties.
Again?
We will probably see that happen more times between now and when the crossing is completely replaced in July 14th through the 18th,
Yeah.
just because it's really starting to come apart. When I spoke to the railroad crews that were out there the other day, Sergeant Kazanowski and I walked out there and talked to them, and they understand that the fix that they did the other day is just temporary to try and get us to July, but it may not make it.
Well, hopefully there's maintenance there where they're looking at it maybe once a week. They could stop by and look. Because this last time a board popped up again,
Yep.
didn't it? Did it
Yeah.
do
Yes.
damage to a
Yep.
car this time?
No, not,
It was the last time that it got 3 cars?
in the fall, it got 3
Was it
cars.
fall? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah,
hopefully.
they are aware of it, and it's just, yes, frustrating for all of us, but
Yep.
there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. No, I think we were lucky. Wasn't there a number of them that they looked at in Macomb County? And
I think they submitted 8 and got funding for 2.
Yeah.
From my memory. I could be off, but it was something like that, yeah.
No, we appreciate that. There's no doubt about that. It's high time. No doubt about it. So, okay, the calendar. Let's see. We have a TIFA meeting on the 23rd at 7 o'clock here at City Hall. We have the Richmond Little League opening day is going on this Saturday, the 26th. City Council will have a 5:30 budget meeting a week from tonight, the 28th, right here at City Hall. We have National Day of Prayer will be held on Thursday, May 1st. There will be prayers going out from 12:20 to 12:40, and there will be a luncheon here in City Hall provided by the Good Old Days Festival immediately following. And then 2 weeks from tonight, again, there will be another 5:30 workshop. It's a budget workshop, and a regular city council meeting will be held at 7, and if needed, the workshop will continue after the regular city council meeting. That is on Monday, the 5th. And that is it for the calendar. We have 2 announcements. Spring book sale by the Lois Wagner Memorial Library Friends Group will be had on April 24th, 25th, and 26th. Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. is the early bird night. It's $5 to enter and free refreshments, and you get first crack at all the many books that they have. How many boxes of books do you think you have over there? Is there 30 or 40?
I would guesstimate we probably have about over 3,000 books total.
3,000
We've
books.
unpacked most of it, so well over 50 boxes.
Yeah, 50 boxes, okay. So there's a lot there for everybody, and that will be held Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Saturday, it's the annual bag sale day. It's $3 a bag. And my understanding is you give them the bag, and for
Yes.
$3, they have as many books as they can stick in there
Yes.
and carry.
Kroger size bag, not garbage bag.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kroger size, okay. I hate to say it, but you have on here donations accepted at the library.
We've received a
3,000
lot.
might be enough books
Yeah,
for
I
your
think
sale this year. So that is the 24th, 25th, and 26th. We also have something new that I believe is good. Yeah, it's going to be held at the auditorium on Main Street. It's called the Teen to Teen Resale Event at the Aud. This is a great time to purge your closets. Any type of clothing, hoodies, jeans, sneakers, backpacks, jewelry, anything on that order. The admission is free. If you would like to sell, it's $10 a table. There is, of course, limited tables. And that is going to be held on Saturday, May 3rd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And any questions, you can call 586-430-4950, which will take you right into the Aud itself. Or is it 727-3064 for Parks and Recreation? You can call there also. I'm sure that's probably on our website.
Yes, I
Yeah,
believe
it's
so.
also on the City of Richmond website. Is there anything else for the calendar? Okay, we move on. Is there any other business to the city council this evening? If not, motion be in order to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There is no discussion on the adjournment motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passed. Thanks for being with us.